Frontrunner family. As you know, the provisional squad was released by SAFA today by Hugo Bruce. Of all the players that Hugo Bruce will select from for the last two games in the 2022 FIFA World Cup qualifiers. To break down the provisional squad, I'm joined by Velile. He came speeding all the way from his show at the SABC. Welcome, Veza.
Good evening, Fidel, and also to our viewers who are watching us here on the Frontrunners Sports podcast. And I'm happy to be here with the Sauce Man.
Thank you. We missed you. You introduced us. So welcome.
Thank you. It's good to be rubbing shoulders again with the big man, Maveja.
The Veja. We haven't seen him in a while. So we'll start there. Veli, we all know Hugo Bruce is not swayed by agents. You know, he's fresh on the job. He selects players based on merit. So let's start with the goalkeepers. Ronwen Williams is the captain. It's expected. Veli Motwa is doing very well. It's expected. They're in the CAF Champions League group stages. Bruce Vuma, I think he's there because he's always been there. He's not playing at Chiefs. And then you have Oscarin Masuluke, which was a surprise inclusion. I didn't think I'd see him. What have you made of the goalkeeping selection?
Very interesting. Not that I'm surprised because if you remember previously, this is also something that they were looking at. In terms of the selection. If you remember, I think it was the coach Mulefinseki. He had said that they were going to bring Oscarin Masuluke. I'm not sure if they ended up even bringing him. So he's somebody who's been in the space, in terms of flirting with selection. Also because you must also remember the challenges that we've had. If you want to see the reflection, especially in the goalkeeping department, if you want to see the reflection of being dominated by foreign goalkeepers, this is when you see it. When you see a Bruce Vuma who's not even who's on the stands, but still being selected, not even making the bench, but still being selected. This is the reality, to say we will pick those that we feel are used to the system, because now it's no longer a matter of who is playing, and who is the best. You know what I mean? When if you consider there was a time in our goalkeeping department, we had the late Senzo Meyiwa, we had Monip Josephs, we would have Kune. I think there was a time when Monip Josephs and the late Senzo Meyiwa were in the same team, coming from the same club.
True.
Because of the quality.
Team,
Yes, there was a time when Itumele Nkune was in the same team with the brilliant Kuzwayo, because of the quality. And then there would be a Darren Kidd in the space, So now, Ronwen Williams, Veli Motwa, without a doubt. Those are our number 1 and 2. In fact, they even compete for that for that number 1 jersey. Maybe the only difference is the armband, But if you look in terms of their quality currently and all, those are the ones that you're going to have. So what I'm trying to say here is that when it comes to goalkeeping a situation, it's an area that we cannot overly critique. because it's a reflection of what is happening in the league.
Yeah.
In fact, I think for me, with Bafana, it's always a reflection of, and now we will delve deeper into these things as how they go. But having said that, especially, I'm qualifying that, especially when it comes to Vuma. Vuma is on the stands in some games, so even on the bench.
Yeah, Brandon
he's still
Peterson is, true.
You understand? Then who are you going to bring?
Mlungwana, he plays.
But the coach, as previously said,
his weight.
Issues about the weight. You understand?
Yeah.
So
you have a crisis.
But having said that, I want to come to Oscarin.
Yeah.
And here I want to give credit to Coach Thomas Nare, Spaghetti, who is the goalkeeper coach at Baroka. Remember, at some stage, he had Chipezeze, and yes, after Elvis. Working with Chipezeze, we saw the good work that they did together. Even he went on to have the number 1 jersey
for Zimbabwe,
for the Zim Warriors as well. But then Oscarin ended up even having to leave. And part of when Oscarin left the first time, it was also because it was said that he was lacking some basics, and this needed a lot of training, and he dropped down to the first division. But then after coming back, the moment he got the number 1 jersey, you also can see the work that Oscarin has been doing, and especially even last season, there's been a lot of improvement from his goalkeeping. So I'm not entirely surprised that. Hence, I said when I started, we must not look at his selection now in isolation to that. He was already on the radar of the previous technical team.
Yeah, so it's nothing new.
It's nothing new, As to whether it's the best of the best, we cannot also not discuss that in isolation to the situation that we have when it comes to.
I think Jody.
And I know a coach in the game. I will not mention his name. A good friend. He always forwards me stats. So many locals, so many foreign goalkeepers played this past week.
Okay, hold it there. So, what have you made of the selection of goalkeepers? I think Jody February is playing for Swallows now.
Yeah, I think Veli has summed it up properly within the addition of Oscar Masuluki. I think everybody would be surprised at this point, thinking maybe why add him, but due to the fact that the work that has been done prior to him, and also being available in most of the games for Baroka at this point, I think it's qualifying, and it's not something that is happening now. He's been scouted before. They've been actually looking at his performances. So I think at that goalkeeper department, it's solid for me in a way, because as Velile said, it's in a matter that the coach feels that those players that are there are the players that are fitting the philosophy and the way how he wants them to play. So every player that is picked there, it's according to the efficiency and the tactical application of his game plan. So yeah, not much could be said. For me, I think I'm happy with it. They've been led by a proper captain, a guy that just played his 350, just had his 350 appearances for SuperSport. I was just watching his stats. 0.38 conceded per 90 minutes, 63% clean sheet. In the Premiership, 8 matches, 5 clean sheets, 3 goals conceded. In Cup, 1 match, 1 goal conceded. And then in the World Cup qualifier, this is the big one, where he has played 4 matches, 1 goal conceded, 3 clean sheets. So in total, this guy has played 1,170 minutes played. And for me, deservedly so. I think he's going to be a very good leader on that pack of those goalkeepers. I think they are highly motivated as he comes with that so much experience with him.
So staying with you, is it discouraging for goalkeepers like Blumwana, Jody February's not being selected, while Bruce Vuma, he doesn't even play at Chiefs. He's in the squad, but those two are playing.
I think in a way, yes. I would say in a way it's discouraging because you will always feel as if you are playing at your club level and you are doing well. Because for you to wear that jersey for your team and being as a goalkeeper, I think it's a big thing because you're the last line of defense. So when you're not playing and then you see another player that is being selected ahead of you, it's kind of disappointing, but also you have to take it in a way that you still need to improve, maybe in some of the aspect or on some of the games, as we have Velil have said, that these are some of the players that are selected are players that are selected based on how the coach wants the team to play. And the personality that is got in the team, he got them according to how he's structuring how he's structured around them. So every player that is there, he will know if he select this one or put this one. Maybe in a way, he's trying to groom some of the goalkeepers from Ronan Williams, or if Ronan Williams is not available, these are the pack of players that he actually has on his side.
Really, I'm going to come to you now so you can start unmuting. As I come to you, before you say anything, Egypt FA upholds ban on foreign goalkeepers across all leagues. Are we at a point where we should be adopting such measures? Do we have a goalkeeping crisis in the country?
Yeah, no, it's interesting because I've also had this discussion. I think I was doing a story. I just can't remember if it was a head coach or I think it was Coach Gavin Hunt. Yeah, I think it was Coach Gavin Hunt. We've had this situation because I think there was a time at FIFA also they had Watenga. And after Watenga, they had Lloyd Kazapua, who's also number 2 in Namibia, to Virgil Freeze, the Swallows goalkeeper. Mm-hmm. And now Lloyd has also not been playing at Chippa because he was deputizing for Watenga. But he went to camp and played, when Namibia, I think they were playing in Congo. And also they went to get that a crucial win against Togo in Togo, So when you look in this situation, even if you're not going to say you are going with what the Egyptian FA is doing, because the EFA is very clear that only there should be no foreign goalkeepers. And even when they tried to have foreign goalkeepers, it couldn't last even 2 months after that decision was made. It couldn't even be implemented. They took the decision and then within 2 months, I don't know, they reversed it because of the uproar that came after that. So maybe for starters, here it would be to say no more than 2 foreign goalkeepers in the club.
Yeah.
Or not more than 1.
Oh yeah, just 1.
Yes. Yeah. No, not more than 1 foreign goalkeeper in the club. And then I know obviously now it's gonna come. How do you classify foreign goalkeepers? Now someone
naturalized
like
players. Yeah.
Onyango and Mwene are naturalized.
Yeah. Where do you draw the line?
Akpe is supposed to be naturalized.
Yes.
You understand? Because he's qualifying by now.
But he plays for the Nigerian national team.
The team sheet is still doesn't have an F next to it. So the situation is it's the number 1. Also, he was a number one at some stage.
Yeah.
Now they played Uzoho in the last camp.
Yeah, Francis.
VAR. I'm sure they were like, hey, no, we should have played Ape, because he also comes with that momentum as well, from Chiefs. So I think these are, for me, these are the fundamental technical footballing decisions that the FA and the league are really supposed to be addressing. Starting driven by the technical office of the office of the technical director at the FA. You understand? So there are decisions that need to be made that will affect the game in a positive way. Because I think what is clear, even when it comes to coaching, I know we're talking football, but when you look at the situation of what's happening in the T20 Cricket World Cup, you see some teams, and then you see a strong South African influence. Teams coached by South Africans, be it Scotland, be it Bangladesh, be it Sri Lanka, be it Pakistan, you know what I mean? Be it Afghanistan, and doing well. So it means that in terms of the technical influence, South Africa at cricket level globally, never mind the challenges that we're having, but there's something positive that they are seeing from us. You know what I mean? So I believe that we need to cross to the situation where technically we need to go deeper. We need to go deeper. I just feel that at the bigger level, leadership-wise, both the FA and the league, we are not affecting the technical space on the leadership side, which for me now results in all these other things that we're talking about, including this Cold War between the national team coach and the club coaches, which is something that is not even supposed to be addressed by those technical teams. It's a technical leadership issue.
100%. Like there's not just a small breakdown, there's a huge breakdown in communication between clubs and
the national team.
And the national team. How do you think that will have an impact? Will it have an impact? The war of words. I heard Rulani saying something about his players coming back injured. It's difficult to communicate with the medical team and the technical team in the national team. Also, Coach Mandla Ngigazi is siding with Goodman Musele regarding Goodman not showing up at Bafana Bafana. Do you think it will have an impact?
Well, I think at this point, it's something that they can all sit down and discuss and brush away, because the national team at this point, they're doing quite well. So them having this momentum and having good results, I don't think this is needed. All that needs to happen is just a good line of communication. Clubs and the national team creating that bond and creating a nice bridge for players to be comfortable to live for a national team. Because for a club, it's easy for coaches to influence players, or maybe even go as far as say, yes, if you go there and then you come back injured, you're going to sit on the bench. And knowing very well that you are under a team where competition is tough and you are under starting lineup, you start having to now calculate whether should I go for a national team or should I not? Because just on those small issues, if that is well ironed out between coaches, I think coaches understand each other. One is serving at the highest institute, which is the national team. As much as the club level also is important, it's equally important that those coaches meet each other halfway in terms of helping the nation. This is more about the nation and creating, making sure that we have a solid relationship moving forward and building those prayers in coming the biggest challenges in Africa. Because right now, The case of Goodman Mosele as well, and with the coach siding with him, there are things that he know about the player that I think it's good for a coach to protect him. Maybe the national team coach is not well informed of the situation, but it's for the coaches to sit down and then speak about it, then to blast the player. I think for me, it's something that is not it's not highly welcome on my side, because if you just as a coach, if you find the core of the problem, you'll be more lenient and understanding in the player, because take nothing away from Goodman Masele, good player, but you really have to go deep down and find the core of the problem. I think that's where everything starts, and then once those relationships are built, it's going to be easy for coaches to work together.
Yeah, I think, which for me is also, I think is a very good point. Which you're making. But what I was trying to emphasize was, I understand, and I've read the reports, especially from the colleagues in the weekly newspapers on Sunday, City Press and also Sunday World. And it's encouraging that the SAFA president and the chairman of the league, they said they are meeting this week to address some of these issues, But also, to be honest, it's good that they're doing that, as leaders of the game. But what I was trying to say earlier is that it's also something that is not even supposed to be there.
Yeah.
It's technical leadership, because how many times you've seen, and fortunately, even here on the continent, sometimes I don't like making this reference of in Europe this, in Europe this, because there are also good examples here, even on the continent. If you see what those guys do there in Egypt, in other North African countries, when you go there, there's a technical director, in terms of the club chairman or president, he just signs you, but then the whole technical operation, you're dealing with people in that space, and you move according, you know what I mean? So structure. If you come and coach here, you will find someone who will say, okay, this is how we deal with it. This is how we communicate with the clubs and all of this. You don't have a situation where a coach comes in and then he will do things his own way, as if there's no blueprint in this country. But also, if you don't have a proper blueprint,
he's gonna make his
technically.
Own.
Exactly. Because also he's used to that level. You understand? But if he walks in, there's a proper structure that says this is how we do things. You do things this way. You reach out to them. This is how you do it. So hence
problems.
Yes. So hence for me, I'm saying, until we have this type of a situation where even when you talk of junior national teams, it's not junior national teams that are just going to camp because we are going to have a tournament. But there's a flowing and reporting, because you talk about the issue of Goodman Marcel. We're not supposed to be even there talking about it, because Goodman comes from the under 23. You understand? So there's supposed to be a report. You understand?
Oh, coming from
Yes, if there are issues to say, oh, okay, you were going there. What's the report from that side? You understand?
Yeah, he was in the Olympics.
Exactly. But also there were camps even before the Olympics. What would have happened? You understand? Because maybe these issues are just bigger, or there's just some kind of support that's needed for the young man. You understand? But then the reports from previously should inform those things. you know.
Yeah.
And I'm saying this because we must be talking about positive things. You know, we've got points and all those things. The coach is doing well,
it's true.
and also the selection, in my opinion, is also very fair, you know, and balanced. You know, bar some one or two decisions, but we cannot please everyone. You know, with selection. I also have one or two players who are supposed to be here. Maybe one of those players are some of the players everyone is talking about. But
name them. It's the national team.
The national team.
We're here for the national team. It's Bafana Bafana. It's the country.
And there's always been those issues when it comes to selection for the national teams. Not everyone is going to be pleased. You understand what I mean?
True.
But in saying all those things, we must also, because I've listened to how the other coaches, especially the club coaches, they are responding to the issue. And I also listened to the coach as well. And yes, maybe things could have been done differently, but it all boils down to lack of technical leadership.
Yeah.
Who's the SAFA technical director?
I am not going there. SAFA doesn't have a permanent technical director. They don't have a permanent technical director.
Maybe we need to start there.
The acting TD, coach Franz Mukhashwa. Very good coaching education instructor.
Yes.
He heads SAFA coaching education, and for me, he's done very well in that space with all the challenges. All the challenges
that he's facing.
Yes. But I think some of the discussions that we're talking about in terms of the full profile, and also, I mean, he's the acting TD, coach Franz Mukhashwa, but also when they're doing shortlisting for the TD, he was not there. He was not even in that final three. So
because of requirements of the job spec.
I don't know, but also, I mean, what I'm trying to say, Fidel, is that if they decide that Coach Franz is still stronger in the coaching education, they must let him champion that. You know, they must let him champion that and prioritize this space, because not having not having a technical director, for over a year. Remember, Neil Tovey, his contract ended in June last year.
Yeah.
You know,
and it's such a crucial position.
In fact, we must double check if was it really last year or even in 2019. But it's been over a year now. You know,
because
let me tell you, in the FA, there's the president, there's the SG, the CEO. The next biggest position is the technical director.
Almost vacant.
Because the technical director is the driver of the technical vision.
Yes, of the country. Yes, like this is how we'll be approaching football as a country.
Exactly.
Okay, so let's move on.
So a technical director is someone that a new national team coach would arrive to, and
100%. I guess that's the next thing SAFA should look at and make sure that position is filled, so that this direction, permanent direction in terms of football in the country. Defenders, Nico Mobi, Rushin Duruk, Coach Rolani said he hasn't fully recovered. Luke Fleurs, Supersport, Terence Mashego, Njabulo Blom has been doing well at Chiefs, Sienda Kulu, Njabulo Ngobo, Sfiso Shanti, Tapelo Morena, Tibang Pete, Teshas Malepe, Bonelo Tele. So before I go to Veza, any surprises for you there? There's no Laila K. He's assisting, he's scoring free kicks, he's not there. What have you made?
I was hoping that I would see him. I think that's one of the players that has stayed consistent at Sundowns. That is a player that has been doing well. And I think him being overlooked, I don't know maybe what might be the problem. Or
doesn't
maybe
fit
it's because
the structure of what coach is trying to do. Because
I
let's be
doubt.
honest, we are winning. So we are in the also team. We're
No,
talking the
but
group.
Uzothini? Angithi kungandikhona ingoma eshoyo. Uzothini?
We're talking the group. So if you play
No,
like Aliko, ungathi Aliko ngoba i-team idlala kahle ithola ama-points sothi simfaka phi umuntu wakho makangena because kunomuntu odlalayo kunomuntu owenza kahle.
abanye laba abakhona nibafaka.
No,
Because it's far
like,
better than those ones that are there.
we just touched on it now with Veza. We can't please everyone.
No, it's fine, but let's go on merit. I know they are winning.
Hey, no, Kaloku, there's
But-
merit, and do you fit into what the coach is trying to do? If you don't fit, even if you're scoring 10 goals, if you don't fit, you don't fit.
No, I doubt. You can't
Hey,
play
but
at that
Fidel,
level and not.
Fidel, ngiyakuzwa ngishilo, but hey,
Yeah, there's no way.
There's
He's
also
good.
the level.
Don't
There's
get
also
me
the
wrong.
level.
He's
Yeah,
very
Yeah,
good.
there's also the level.
I'm looking at the team that the player is playing in and the competition that he's faced with, right?
Yeah,
And he's
Yeah.
consistently performing
yeah,
on that. Me, my only opinion would be based on maybe it's the communication breakdown, because I think at this point, the coach would have actually selected him up until maybe what went through with Rulani and them
Yeah.
having that fallout. But like,
speculation.
no, that's my opinion. It's fine.
Yeah.
I'm allowed to speculate that based on that merit, because the players that are there,
Yeah,
for me, there's like players that I feel that Lake is 100% fitting. So
Better.
looking at the look,
he's better
fitting
than Terence Mashego. Terence played. I think there's also Tertius Malepe. I think he can play fullback as well.
Mhm.
Yeah,
But still, I will go for Lake. There's a Shanti there for me.
yeah,
I think
Shanti.
if you put those together, Shanti and Lake, I will go for
Yeah.
Lake. More technical, more disciplined, defends well.
Heated
Yes.
debate.
So
Veza.
for me, I will go for that one any day.
Yeah.
As a left back myself.
And I don't think he
player that-
selected him at all, eh?
Exactly. So that's my point. I'm saying.
Yeah.
At
Yeah,
least if we
but
have been given a chance.
so I don't know. I'm also
Sibonelo Cele, sorry.
yeah, Sibonelo Cele, Mashego, Shanti. Those are the outright left backs that are here. You know.
Yeah.
Yes, Tertius can also play there, but Tertius plays more as a centre back, as a left centre back, and also
in the
defensive
midfielder.
mid.
Yeah.
Yes, as well.
Yeah.
You know, so I will not look at him. But if you look in those three, maybe with the international experience of Sfiso Atlanti as well.
Yeah. With Bafana.
Yeah, but Lake versus Cele and Mashego.
Yeah.
I would go for Lake. He also has more international experience than both those
Another
two.
two. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But having said this, we don't know the profile of the type of left backs or the profile of the players that he's going for. You know? For instance, we've been talking about Rivaldo, and for me, I would like to see Rivaldo in this team. You know? I mean, when you see the return of Fakhri Lake, the youngest player to have represented South Africa, because Ronaldo, in fact, Rivaldo had set a record. I think it was 17 or 18 years or something. He set a record, but that record was broken. I think he set a record. It was in August or September.
Yeah.
November, the record was broken by Fakhri Lake. I think they were playing against Cote d'Ivoire, introduced by Shakes Mashala. You know, so when you see Fakhri Lake, who broke the record back then, playing as a 17-year-old, coming back, for me, the logical choice also to come back with him, someone who fits, who's also within this age group, is Rivaldo. You know, but then again, the profile of the players that the coach is going for, you know. And so hence for me, Fidel, I remember I was talking to coach, we were talking to coach Emangoba one time.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And he was saying, you know, he would welcome a situation where they would sit down and talk to the coach so they can want to understand what type of football does he want, and even on the players that he had selected coming from the clubs, what does he like about them, where can they be improved, and they can share a lot of ideas, you understand?
Yeah.
So now, and you'll never know what that would do, whether even in the final or just the preliminary selection. You understand? So hence I'm saying yes. I know that I said earlier, you know, you cannot please everyone. But also when we are talking now, I'm giving you the profile now of the players who are being selected and coming back into the team, who are fitting the age and fitting the history and everything in terms of international experience, and now playing at the very highest level, the premium club football competition on the continent. They play there at that level. You understand? Different to others who just play here only. You understand?
Yeah.
So already people who are used and ready for that level, you know. But we're talking exactly. So I mean, if you want to go player, Tertius is an under 23 captain, has been an under 23 captain. You cannot even you cannot even be debating why he is in this team. Swiss Atlanti he's got an AFCON behind him, you know.
Very good AFCON.
He's played qualifiers, and if the coach says that he needs me, but for me it's difficult now to defend others with less international experience than Lake. Because also another thing, one of the things, the national team is not just about current form only. International football is a different animal. You know, international football is a different animal.
Can I come in here, Veza? So, Shalefi Khasaho on YouTube says, to be fair, Mashiko has been very impressive. So I asked him, better than Lakay? He comes back to us. He's like, defensively, ? I believe so. But going forward, I think Lakay is ahead, even though Mashiko is not so bad going forward either. But Lakay should definitely be in the squad ahead of Shanti.
I see the impressive part that Shalefi is talking about. But in the World Cup qualifiers, you also consider experience, international experience. That's why international coaches, they bring players even when they are not playing. You know, because of that experience. We can always say that, you know, a player is doing well, but there it's a different level. It's a different level.
I see a lot of Golden Arrows players here. Sorry, so. I see a lot of Golden Arrows players. Does this mean coach likes football so?
Yeah, it looks like it. I think it's a more of a coach that likes moving the ball around, unlocking defense, creating opportunities, and looking for more ball players. People that understand in terms of the tactical side of the game. I think that has been his strong point, because if you look at the players that he's got, as young as they are, but the movement and how they play, from the build-up play to the middle and then on attack, you see like all these players that we never thought that they'll be giving us such a result and be scoring goals. Players that if you start thinking about national team, you wouldn't even mention their names. But at this point and the way that they've rised up, it means he got players that are fitting and hungry, that are willing to run and work and take instructions into a positive way that will deliver and help the team to move forward. So I would say yes, he's find Golden Arrow's style of play to that interests him, And in that sense, that it's evident that the players that is brought into the squad, they are fitting, and I'm sure they won't disappoint. Even the previous players that he has called, they haven't disappointed. They haven't disappointed the coach. In fact, they've gave us a lot to talk about in terms of their performance, which made us to even forget about the so-called stars that are not selected.
Agree with those sentiments, Veza? On Golden Arrows?
You know, I spoke to a friend, Nji.
Yeah.
I spoke to a friend,
Cameroon.
Nji. Yes, Nji is a journalist in Cameroon. And one of the things, I'm not sure if my followers on Twitter also said it. One of the things Nji said is that Coach Hugo Bruce, he will also select the players he would never think of, you know, or he's got his own way, even with selection, you know. And I'm saying this now, you know, and I'm saying this, you know, because I also think that he is going, like I said earlier, he is going with his profile, you know.
This is what I want.
Yes.
My prerogative as the coach.
And I'm not a technocrat.
Yeah.
And this is why. So I want to take this question back to you. Based on the 4 matches that you've seen of Coach Hugo Bruce, what type of football and type of players does he like? Is there an element of pace also? And I've seen some quick transitions that also that he likes. And now, does that also inform his overall selection?
Yeah. I think mostly it goes with the technical ability on players, and also, yes, he likes speed, movement of the ball, players that are tactical, that know the areas and the zoning of the field, how they play and how they quickly move forward. Transition is influenced by people that are efficient on the game and people that play faster football, and also know, like when we watch them, there was an element of a counter press on them. There was an element of also varying their game into a low block. There was an element on trying to manipulate a team, having overloads on the sides, using their speed, because also when you saw the goals that were scored, if they see that the team is more set in defense, they try and go wide, and then they always have those pockets in between and behind the defense. So it's evident enough that the energy that is brought in and the young players that is brought, you saw them having their legs on responding to the tactical side of how he wants them to play. As fresher as they are, as much as they are willing to learn, he has planted them and they've given that. He's a coach that likes also to start at the back. As you can see on his start, he plays with a pack of 3, trying to stretch the field as far as possible. Try to invite a counter press. If you fall into that trap, then he tries to use the spaces behind you. Should you not press them high, that's when you see the midfielders start dropping in to create a 4. Try to create 4 at the back to allow more numbers in the midfield and overload. Once you start pressing, that's when they start going wide with that pace that they have. And with those young players being coached at that level, understanding that in position that they get into, no delaying of the ball, no funny things that needs to be done on the ball, just quick, play the ball wide, get it in the box, quickly press the team while they're trying to build up, or not to have a counter play. Because now one of the games that I've watched also with him is he always try and avoid a counter attack. And how do you avoid that? You start pressing the team immediately from when they gain position. If you leave them that long, you're going to find teams like, that's why Ghana struggled in Zimbabwe to dominate us, because they were pressed from the top and they were not allowed to play their normal game to get into our box. It gave them a freedom at the back to always start, and you hardly saw Ronan Williams making those saves. It's only like on set plays where they're a little bit dominant on the air. But other than that, I think that's what's the formation the coaches apply in terms of having more turnovers, trying to build up, and then using transition to unlock teams.
You have answered me.
Yeah.
And now when you look at the selection, for anyone who's watching now and who's still going to watch, when you look at the selection and you analyze what Source has been talking about, then you must get your answers.
Midfielders. Teboho Mokoena, Tabani Zuke, Golden Arrows, Mutobi Mvala, Jesse Don, Spelele Sitole Belenenses, Yusuf Mart, Ethan Brooks, Mduduzum Danzane, Siatemba Sitebe, Nkobeko Dlamini, Golden Arrows. Before you come in, Veza, I think Jesse Don has in a way replaced Sipombule. And Ethan Brooks hasn't been playing under the new coach. And Coach Bruce, he plays players that are playing, that are in form.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You mean he selects or he plays?
Both.
Because there's a difference.
Yes. Some are selected.
Yeah. We know where Veta is going. I can see where he's going.
Yeah. I think firstly, it's also good to see Yaya Spelele Storia coming back in this team. Also, just like also his teammate in the Portuguese Premier Liga, Tibang Pete. Also to see him also coming back and Kafu in this team, because we know that they've been, especially Pete was there in the previous camp, but also there were issues of COVID. Also, Pelele had issues of COVID back in Portugal as well, because we've not seen some of these international, some of these overseas-based boys, but also these are players who've been within the radar, and also of this team, because previously he was also saying he is working with a group. You understand? He is working with a pool of players, and he wants to increase his pool and then continue checking on his pool. And I think with this, and for me, it's good that now, because previously we would just be called and then we'll just see the final 23 or final 25 that's selected. Now, but also now through seeing this preliminary squad, we can see who is within. You understand?
Yeah.
So that even when they call replacements, or if there are issues, already you know who you are expecting from.
Yeah.
So I think so to see those two coming back, and obviously there would have been some tracking, even through their scouting network, that they've been doing with them, because we also see, even through that we had issues with his passport previously, also coming back. Even in the midfield, you could see the coach also is washed Arrows. Remember, he was in the last games when Arrows played against Sundowns.
Yeah, he was in Durban.
Yes. He went to watch that game. So I saw Nkobeko Dlamini also scored this past weekend against Cape Town City. Tried to make that fight back in the second half. Tabani Zuke was also there in the previous camp. Also played against Ethiopia. That's why I'm saying we can debate, but like Soso for me has explained, how the coach likes to play, and also how you like to play, and maybe how that also influences the profile. And whatever we can say, we are a point clear now. At the top.
Yes.
And there's also a possibility depending on what happens at Orlando Stadium, 3 hours before or 2 hours before
Zimbabwe
our game.
Ghana.
Exactly. Depending on what happens, we could qualify even the same night.
Yeah.
You know?
Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed.
We could qualify for the next round.
For the next round. Yes, of course.
No.
We
can still face a Senegal there. Like.
No. Remember, Pella, there's going to be seedings there. When you get to that, to the next stage, there's going to be seedings.
Based on world rankings.
Yes, based on the world rankings.
Okay.
And so it then means that the seedings will take the top 5 African countries. If the top 5 African countries are through, then
yeah.
Understand? So your top 5, definitely Senegal is going to be there. You're going to have Algeria there. You're going to have Tunisia there. You know, Nigeria dropped, ne? Could be having Nigeria. It could also. I think Ghana is. So for us, it will do well because now if we put Ghana out, it means that we take them out.
They're out. They're out.
Yeah.
You can't face them again. Yeah, they're out of the World Cup qualifiers.
But I don't know.
Must put some strong juju there at Orlando when they come.
Ghana are not good travelers. I know you will point me to the result they got in Zimbabwe, but it's not the same Zimbabwe, you know. That we were seeing in the past few seasons.
Ethiopia gave them issues.
I think the problem with I think the conditions here will suit Ghana more. You know?
Oh yes,
especially with
the pitch.
And also the European-based players. It could have been tougher for them in Bahida. It could have been tougher for them in Bahida. But Orlando Stadium, I think it will suit them more. Yes. But back to your question, Fidel, about the midfield. Again, I don't see some huge difference here. The only new players in terms of selection, in fact, here is just Nkobeko Dlamini. The rest of the players in that midfield have been in previous camps. Or have been in previous selections of the coach. It's just a matter of saying that maybe who will make the final cut next week on Monday when the final team is selected.
Ethan Brooks could be cut. He's not playing. Do you see that happening? Or
Ethan Brooks moved from playing in Ethiopia.
To not playing. To sub. I think Yusuf Mat came in on his behalf.
Yes, Yusuf Mat, yes, and then he's not playing at his club, so it will be interesting to see.
He could be cut out.
Yes.
Staying with you, Vesa.
And also the other thing, but after on the strikers, I would like to comment after Sauce.
All right, we'll go there.
I need to find a technical perspective.
All right.
And from Duduzi. You know,
Tanzania.
You know, there's one thing that I've noticed from Coach Bruce. Sometimes he says he wants to be given more time. If you check this week, he's gone. I'm glad that there are matches tomorrow, and there are players who are in these matches. He's going to watch them. And there's parades on in the Royal AM on Thursday, and then there's the big final. You know, and I feel that not that he has not seen what he can get from Tutuzi, but I think the coach and listening to Sauce earlier, Tanzania fits the profile of a player the coach is looking for perfectly. So a big final from Tutuzi surely takes him to the final selection.
All right.
I think a good game there, it's a guaranteed for him. He just needs a final time.
Yeah.
Okay. So strikers, evidence. Luther Singh, passport sorted, clearly. Bonguhle Hlongwane, Maritzburg. Victor Letsalo is banging in goals there. Pesitao is back. Keegan Dolly is back. I think Tsegofatso Mabasa is the only player from Orlando Pirates. Then we have Pule Modi. Hopefully he has a passport. And we have Fakhr Lake. What have you made of the strikers?
Oh, spoiled for choice. I think the coach is spoiled for choice there. A very interesting forwards that we have. Most of them are on form. More or less, all of them are on form. I think the coach is going to get the best out of these players. I think they come with high spirits into this camp, and I think they're going to be willing to die for this team. And for them, from the coach's perspective and how Victor has set up himself in the national team, he's trying to make sure that he solidifies those positions by the way how he banks goals, how he moves, and with a coach that plays with the flat, who's trying to play with the floating strikers, it becomes easy for these players to find the spaces in between and spaces behind. So having more support with the Luda Singh on form, I think he will bring that international experience into the game and help and try as much as to help the team to move forward. So for me, the only player that is maybe not running is not getting more game time. I think more game time on this belt, it could be a top striker, Mabasa. But I think given a chance, he always bangs in those goals. Fakile King, well, hard worker. Very hard worker, clever player, strong. Never give up attitude, always run, always try and press. And as a coach, when you are playing home, when you want to play a high tempo game, you'll always want to have speedy players up front. That's why the reason why they also called Pesitao into the lineup with that creativity, playing as a 10, trying to feed off to the finishers there, the strikers, Boluda Singh, and Mahopa. So for me, I think it's a well structured. I think at this point, if any of these players is dropped, people are going to be disappointed, because if you're looking at their form, they're all on top shape, top form. For them, I don't know what they need to do. I really don't know what they need to do, but it's interesting to see Bongagu as well, doing well for Maritzburg. So like all those strikers, they are fitting to be selected. So if any of these players are dropped, I think it won't be a disappointment, because all of them are equally doing well on their team. And national team level, as Beza said, we can't satisfy everyone, but I think the coach do have his front line at this point.
Yeah. Keegan Dolly is back, Veza.
We are not surprised.
Yeah.
We're not surprised. When I look at Keegan Dolly, when I look at Pule Modi, when I look at Fakhr Lake, what do they have in common, the three of them?
Movement,
quick play, the running game. So going with the profile of the players that you were talking about earlier, also. So those three, they fit that profile perfectly, and also, yes, now with Keegan, you also put in an element of form as well. And I think his form also coming at a critical time where you also need someone who's also experienced in this space, because these final two games, let's be honest, they need experience. These final two games,
Yeah,
they need experience.
Of steel.
Yes. And also players who've played at the highest level. So and for me, if Dolly next week Monday he makes the final selection and then goes on to play his derby, his first Soweto derby on Saturday, and in terms of the confidence levels, and he links up with Pesitao this week, is going to play his first game in the Egyptian league. you know. So he goes on to link up with Tau in that camp, you know, and the momentum is also there because Chiefs is also playing. They've got a game on Tuesday, you know. So I think if you look at the influence of Dolly, especially in the last 3 to 4 matches at Chiefs, you can't argue about it. In this attack, we need someone who is going to bring in something different, you know. And I think Dolly is a former SA under 23 captain at the Olympics. He's played in bigger matches before with Bafana. Just comes back from France.
He's very experienced right now.
Yeah, he's very experienced. He's very experienced, you know. So, and also age-wise, he still fits perfectly with this team. So you look at the return of Tau, you look at Dolly, you look at Luther Singh's return, you look at Mvala also coming back. You look at, as I had said, Spelele Stole, Tibang Pete, you know, players also, because when you play Ghana, they will be playing all those top European players.
Oh yeah.
Now we look in our camp, we're like, yeah, no, it's
away.
fine.
So it would be great to finish it off here.
Yes, no, but also you're like, okay, it's fine. If you've got Tau, you've got Dolly, you also, these are personalities.
In
the squad.
Yeah.
You understand?
They inspire confidence.
Exactly. And these final 2 games that we're going to, we need those personalities. I think for me, Dolly, he ticks different boxes, you know. Yeah, he ticks different boxes, and those are all the boxes that are needed for the final 2 games going forward.
Yeah, at this level. So we see that jersey behind you. Can you just tell the people why you have that thing framed?
Hey, it's national pride, they say. I didn't buy it. I earned this thing.
Tell them. Tell them.
I didn't buy it.
Yeah. What would you say to? What's your advice to Bafana Bafana players?
Yeah, no, just play their game and just make sure that they don't put themselves under pressure. Already they've done the spade work. It's all about now the nerves and maturity of the game and making sure that they get those 3 points. 1 foot in front of the other. Move away from any other criticism before the game, because I know some will drop their heads down when they are dropped. I think it's in a time now where everybody just needs to be behind Bafana Bafana in a positive spirit. Those who are selected and those who are not selected, it's important that the team morale stay high, because I think that's one of the things that will help a team to win. When a team is high in confidence and maturity tricks start kicking in. And also, I think by them starting to understand what the coach wants, clarity brings confidence. When they know exactly what they need to do, it will be an easiest game to play. Yes, they've played Ghana. Yes, they've played Zimbabwe. Yes, they've played Ethiopia. All they're going to do is stay consistent, understand on how they got where they got into, and then just maintain that. Still remain, still have the same clarity what the coach wants, and it will bring confidence.
Veza, final thoughts on this topic?
Remind me again, Fidel.
So we are done now. Final thoughts on the provisional squad. After this, we'll come back for when the matches are done.
Yes. Look, it is an exciting squad. To me, I don't want to lie. It's an exciting squad, especially for the returnees who've been previously part of the selection. But owing to the challenges, especially of COVID, so it's good to see them coming back, and also the depth in the squad, and I'm happy that and also this shows something, because I think a lot of focus in the previous camp to some people was how the coach only played only
I think 30 minutes or something.
30 minutes, yes.
Yeah,
and then
in Ethiopia.
But exactly, but him still here in this team, it means that the coach still wants to see him,
True.
And believes that he can do something.
Horses for courses, Some games demand a player like that.
No, because also, I mean, you could see the difference. I remember last season under Coach JZ. Obviously, he had serious issues with injuries, but especially when they were playing in the CAF Confed, you could see Pirates was a different team with Mabasa on the field than when he's not there. And we know the conditions on the continent. I think for me, in fact, there's no other striker. You can say evidence, but there's no other striker that is like him, But in the squad. So you need a player like that. But maybe it's just a matter of understanding more. Because the coach was also clear, he felt that maybe there was an element of stage fright from Mabasa,
True.
So I don't know, but then I'm sure that's something they can work on. So I'm happy that it's also been brought here, because if you look for me, just that attack, it's and also this is a season where maybe thanks to Peter Shalulile as well, the way he's challenging our guys, the way they are responding, the way they're responding. You look at Victor Litswalo, leave the penalty that he scored against Marumo Gallants, but remember how he was also the chief architect of the equalizer. His shot hit the crossbar, So he's someone who's impacting the game positively all the time,
Oh no, he's peaking as a striker.
Exactly. So in terms of our attackers, most of our attackers, you can even go to these new ones who are here, Pule Modi,
really exciting.
Yes, some exciting players. Pule, that once you give him the ball,
he's coming to you. No back pass.
Yeah, people don't know. Pule, his first selection was not even going to be under Hugo Bruce. Pule's first selection would have been at the Kosafa. They tried to call him at the Kosafa. But also that's when he also had those issues with the passport. So you can see that they've always been looking at him, Yeah, and I'm glad. I'm glad that it's
I'm also glad.
Yes. But
such a young man, opportunity.
Yeah. So, but for me, this is also where I plead with our coaches in the technical space, be it those who are nurturing talent or those who are identifying talent. Let's try and bring them to the system early. It cannot be that such a talent is only starting. Because only it's starting to play football at the highest level in the country in his late 20s. Because Pule, I think is 28 now.
Yeah.
And yes, and only started playing in the big league last season, coming from Mutongati to Golden Arrows. So yeah,
like
so yeah, well,
there's a gap.
We need, real talent must come in real time.
There's a
real
huge
talent
gap.
must come in real time.
I think Veza, the problem is at the top. We're not the really exceptional ones, I think clubs maybe tend to keep them so they don't go and create space for the other ones that are coming. Like South African clubs tend to keep them maybe for a tad bit longer, which stifles growth from down there. I'm not sure about the numbers or the stats in terms of how many players from the DStv Diski teams transition into the first team of their clubs. I'm not sure about the numbers, and how many players actually make it and play, for their first teams.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a topic for another day.
Yeah, that's a topic for another day.
Yeah.
We'll sleep at 1 a.m. if we start.
Yeah, we'll break it down. Thank you to everyone who watched. Thank you to everybody who watched. And don't forget to subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Thank you, Veza. Thank you, Soso.
Yeah, in fact, as you say that, I see there's a comment from Leto, and
yeah,
talking about Utongat producing good talent, and
yes.
remember with Pule Modi, as I had said, it talks about Sibonelo Cele as well. And I think there was a game. There's a boy who also comes from Utongati at Solos. I think it's Ndlovu,
yeah.
Yes. And also at TS Galaxy, there's a boy who comes from there as well. And then you also have players like Austin Dube coming from Richards Bay. Obviously having been at TS Galaxy before,
Yeah.
So
yeah.
There are those clubs, especially in the Great Africa Championship.
Yeah.
That they're going to produce players for you.
Yeah.
And also even in terms of the brand of football that they are playing, the type of players, you look at Arrows still has Magawana as well. They're coming from Utongati. You know what I mean? Another exciting player.
We need a documentary on Utongati.
No. Utongati, you can see them now, even under coach Papizo Twane. They've got a boy there. They've also taken on loan some of the boys from Chiefs.
Yeah.
Macheke and who's the Lisako? Is also there. So there are those clubs. They're in that division. Yes, maybe they are not regularly fighting a promotion vigorously, but they will produce talent for you.
Yeah. No. And that's what we need. And like, as soon as we have exceptional talent, it needs to go. Like, ship them out. Like, go. Yeah. Anyway, that's for me.
But that's why I know that at Utongati they will also say credit must go to Coach Pitso Odladla, because he was also responsible for recruiting some of these players. And also I think one of the good things there, especially in KZN, they produce good young coaches too.
Yeah. We see you, Soso. You too, Umlazi.
Yeah. No,
all right.
Not that Kaslami. Clermont. Yeah, no. But that's why there's a club there playing in the ABC called Kotavera Sporting. You must follow them. You'll never
must bring them here. We have a platform here.
As well.
All right. Good evening, gentlemen. Good evening.
Sure.